Traditionally, the project management stage is set either as the project manager's office, liberally decorated with Gantt charts, or the conference room, employing a prop such as the data projector to display a Gantt chart amidst the obligatory pre-shaped PowerPoint slides. The candidate at an interview for project manager will claim the identity of a project manager as a way of influencing how others will treat them in the future. The impression of such an identity may be created by claiming responsibility for success of projects that appear on their resume. They may wear a business suit, cite credentials, and liberally use project management terms in conversation. In the West, men have evolved a standard uniform for the business environment, the business suit. Part of the strategy used by men to climb executive ranks is to reflect the values by mimicking the dress as well as the hobby and luncheon habits of those executives already in upper ranks. In the workplace, image, appearance, and dress are extremely important. To socially survive, project managers need to identify themselves from other workers, and they can only do this by the clothes and badges they wear. Search the websites of major project management professional associations and you will find a plethora of business suits. Some women, but mostly men, and some wearing business suits and hard hats. Badges are more subtly displayed. Amongst all professional body memberships in their categories, these entitle members to use postnominals. Additional postnominals are also available to those who complete professional certification. What I'm proposing here is that project managers are bound into a social system that demands acting behavior. Project managers are required to represent or present short plays or scenes with a script that depicts them as organized, in control, and professional. It has been observed that this is particularly true when project managers present to senior management or when their professionalism is being questioned, or to differentiate themselves from competing groups. However, among themselves, project managers behave with clear antagonism towards their own displays or acts of professionalism. The role of project manager requires the individual to construct or protect their professional identity. Now, this common behavior is reluctantly acknowledged because it has connotations of being pretentious, deceitful, immoral, and manipulative. Project information is therefore packaged by the project manager to acquire or support a desired identity. In social situations, individuals regard a greater level of accountability associated with being untruthful rather than being evasive. Rather than being caught in a lie when protecting identity, individuals create a different frame of reference that diverts attention to other topics and other contexts. We more familiarly call this impression management behavior bullshit. The Gantt chart has mimetically much in common with the successful PowerPoint meme. An estimated 30 million PowerPoint presentations are made every day. Its templates pre-shape how users plan, present, and think about information, shepherding the user towards a sort of staccato summarizing frame of mind, closing down debate and dumbing down content. The PowerPoint slide sets the presenter's remarks in stone ahead of time, leaving no possibility for creative ideas to arise collaboratively. The Gantt chart is also a successful meme. Project managers are compelled to create them to maintain their professionalism. Like PowerPoint, the Gantt chart leads its audience to believe that all the information required has been accounted for, giving the impression that the matter is resolved. It is simply not realistic to think that one can cram the complexity and unpredictability of project work into the limited template format of a Gantt chart. In one way, these Gantt charts are a physical manifestation of the information packaging process I mentioned earlier. I suggest that the PMBOK code, the PMBOK version of project management, is spreading profusely unchecked through Western corporate culture. However, it must be remembered that memes are completely indifferent to their human hosts and care not for their welfare. Memes simply replicate. As for the PMBOK code, it has prospered in the West, and in the environment, the competitive advantages it provides are not only available to human citizens, but to corporate citizens too. And this, I suggest, creates a trap for us humans. The German political economist and sociologist Max Weber argued that the ethos, spirit, or fundamental values necessary for capitalistic activities is not inevitable, and that capitalism is a product of the Western mind, driven by the Protestant work ethic. Capitalism is more than the accumulation of wealth. It is the application of a disciplined workforce and the regularized investment of capital, and requires a level of organization, pooling of capital, and economies of scale that can be achieved today principally by the application of social devices such as government and predominantly corporations. The corporation meme is omnipresent and one of the most powerful actors in Western society. Its creation is relatively recent, being a legal entity born out of the Industrial Revolution. Corporations were initially associations of people who requested a charter from the state legislature that provided them with a set of legal rights and responsibilities, particularly to serve the public good. The American Civil War and the Industrial Revolution created enormous growth in corporations, and the lawyers representing corporations wanted constraints removed. The corporation meme changed in 1886, when the United States Supreme Court first treated corporations as persons entitled to constitutional liberties. This change concerned the 14th Amendment, passed at the end of the Civil War to give equal rights to black people. Corporate lawyers reinterpreted this amendment, arguing that corporations are also legal persons and also entitled to constitutional liberties. The Supreme Court supported this view, and in the periods between 1890 and 1910, the courts employed the 14th Amendment in 19 race cases, in stark contrast to 288 corporate cases. The corporation continues to be redesigned by the memes of capitalism. The West is applying the corporation model almost everywhere, including voluntary organizations, universities, and schools, where students are viewed as customers and stakeholders. Technology enables investors to move capital across the globe without any intention of becoming long-term owners of the businesses. Investors such as these are neither concerned with the long-term profitability or the business. All they seek is a sudden increase in share price. These price increases often occur because a corporation reshapes its business plan. And this so-called impatient capital has radically changed the way corporations are managed. Even the employment of a consultant to redesign a business sends a signal to the market that a corporation is in the game, flexible, and prepared to newly perform. Interestingly, only the impression of redesign is required to achieve a sudden increase in share price. One of the features in the contemporary economic system is to impose a flexible market. productivity appears to increase if the workforce is insecure. And one of the costs of job insecurity to individuals is decreased job satisfaction and increased physical symptomology. People get sick. The current structure of the PMBOK code will, I suggest, in the long run, prove to be hazardous to humans. Today I presented the case that the PMBOK version of project management is prevalent in Western society because it is a successful impression management script that fits really well with Western capitalistic culture. Furthermore, that this doctrine of project management is evolving in a manner that is unchecked, which will eventually help to fractionalize the workforce to the benefit of the corporations and to the detriment of society. In short, project management today, in the main, is structured in a way that is more about the appearance of productivity than productivity itself. And corporations will reap more benefit from it than individuals. Work is very real to us humans, and the way we manage it and organize it should benefit us and our dependents. I'm calling for a reformation of the PMBOK guide version of project management in a way that relieves practitioners from their burden of performativity and opens project work up to more creative and democratic processes. That's all for me. Thank you very much. Cheers, Ray. Thanks, sir.